Justice is sweet. Joe and Mike from Spike Life EDC, welcome to another news segment. Man, we have a lot to talk about, huh?
We do have a lot to talk about.
What are we drinking first?
So, in the bottle this week, we have a bit of Michter's Small Batch Bourbon, one of the ones that are in my rotation constantly. Beautiful. And in the can, not Don Lemon. And in the can, we have Lagunitas, little something. You ever drink this?
Yeah, I buy it all the time.
Yeah, same, dude.
Yeah,
same.
I usually, when I'm at the grocery store and I'm looking for the single beers, the girls always pick this one out for me.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You know what's cool about it is that I love the pinup girl style art that's on here. It's really like early American, real sick, right?
They're always, George is always like, Dad, you want to get a little something?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Man. So, zeal for your house burns within me. That's the topic of today's discussion. Don Lemon and his church invasion. So what do you think, in your opinion? You can comment below and let us know what you think. In your opinion, is it okay to trespass on people's First Amendment rights to gather and worship just because you're a journalist and you're writing a story? Let's get into it.
Let me educate you a little bit on the First Amendment.
No, the First Amendment does not protect a group that interrupts a church service on private property, protests, and records without permission. Such actions constitute illegal trespassing and disruption of private property, as religious institutions maintain the right to control access to their premises and protect their worshippers' rights. Legal consequences include: actions can lead to charges of criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, or violation of specific state laws against disturbing religious meetings. Recording without permission. Recording or filming in a private space without authorization can also be prohibited by the property owners. While protesters have rights, they are generally limited to public spaces such as sidewalks outside the church and cannot interfere with the ability of others to practice their religion. There you have it.
All right. So, for a lot of you Muppets out there who support Don Lemon and are now experts on the First Amendment, you've now heard it. Yes, Don Lemon and the likes of Don Lemon do have a right to journalism. But as you can see, you don't have the right to impede on somebody else's First Amendment rights, especially on private property, and especially during a time of worship for Christians. You know what? I'll even broaden this a bit and not say just Christians. I'd probably feel the same way if they went to, let's say, the temple, or insert any other type of dogma that you will. First Amendment rights are First Amendment rights. So without further ado, bear with us. We're going to roll this 10-minute clip of this montage of Lemony Prickett.
I will not stop now.
A defiant and angry Don Lemon, the former CNN host, speaks out after being arrested and charged with federal civil rights crimes in connection with a controversial protest inside a Minnesota church. Federal prosecutors say Lemon and 3 other people disrupted worshipers' First Amendment right to practice their faith during Mass.
However, Lemon says he was acting as a journalist who was watching anti-ICE demonstrators protest President Trump's immigration policies. KTLA's Rick Chambers reports.
Where he's kissing the organizer. They clearly know each other. They've been in cahoots. And you will hear him allude to knowing the details. He talks about how it's key that some of the agitators are what he calls MAGA coded. Watch.
They're getting the operation together. Again, this is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason, it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here. So that is what I could say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. How are you? Good to see you. We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
This is Nakima, Levy Armstrong.
this is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation.
Okay, so we're going to go to the operation again. We're not going to give any of the information away.
If Don Lemon had stopped there and not gone in that church, he would have been fine. He would have been fine. It's fine. It's fine for someone to tell you that they're going to do something illegal, and you as the reporter go there to film it from a place you're allowed to be and you don't take part in it. That we do that all the time. But he didn't. That wasn't good enough for Don, because you see, he needed YouTube subscribers. He reminded people throughout his disruption, subscribe, watch, look. We actually cut the clip the other day. We never got to play it, but here it is.
So if you're in the chat, if you're with us, support us. Support us. Support us.
Is he in the church?
Like and subscribe. Become a member. Support independent journalism, because we do it without fear or favor. I'm not afraid to do this. Like I told you, it was going to be raw,
You should be.
unscripted. We got stuck in the snow trying to get here, had to produce it in real time. Go here. As soon as we walked in, almost perfect timing, the protesters stood up. Appreciate all of you, all of the new members. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're watching us, make sure if you go to the YouTube channel, you can hit subscribe. Just go to donlemon.com. donlemon.com. At the top of the page, there are links on all 4 of the categories that we are nominated for the NAACP Image Award. Click on those categories and vote. You can only vote for one person. Vote for me.
So he decided that he wanted to interfere with people's right to worship because it could really get him some good clicks. Like, more than just, oh, gee, I had no idea I showed up where Nakima told me and then I just followed her inside. You knew everything. All right? You knew everything. We know that. Here he is outside the church watching, in his word, traumatized parishioners leave. Is he upset that he participated in causing the trauma? Doesn't seem so. Doesn't really seem so. Watch.
Watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid, and I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But that's what really careful, please. Really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about, and so
that's what protesting is about: causing trauma to children. Isn't it ironic how he's sitting there? He's so worried about slipping on the ice. He's very worried about his own safety and that of his photog. Doesn't give a shit about the people who are having to run out of the church because of him. And indeed, one broke her arm, according to the federal affidavit in support of the arrest we saw earlier this week. Does he care about her? Did he care about the children? No, trauma's part of it. Trauma's part of it. Well, guess what, Don Lemon? Now you're going to have trauma. It's your turn. He was arrested last night at the Grammys.
One of the members who looks to be really upset, a young person, the pastor is trying to calm him down over there. Perhaps they should come in, pray together, and talk together. But anyways, if I were the pastor, I would offer a prayer. I would try to calm things down and say, listen, talk to you. We're all citizens. We're all believers and Christians.
What's that?
You're a member of the church?
I do.
How do you feel about this?
I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the Twin Cities right now, but I don't think it's good to fight fire with fire. I think it's good to speak up, and I think it's good to protest, but I think it's better to do it in a peaceful way. I don't think the answer is going into God's church.
You don't think this is peaceful?
It's
nobody fighting.
It's trespassing.
I think maybe if the pastor would try to calm things down and say, let's all talk together and make this peaceful and not be so us against them. How do you feel about allegedly, according to the protesters here, there's a member of ICE who is a pastor here or is a member of the clergy? Allegedly, I don't know. That's what they say.
Okay. Well, I would say before just ramming into a church, maybe it'd be good to get some more information first.
Our church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday, and we were interrupted by this group of protesters. Yeah. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left. So, I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian. We're always worship. I'm a Christian.
It's just good that these kids can learn that as early, as young as possible. It's just what the First Amendment is about. Like, could you, I would respect these people more if they weren't just so blatantly retarded. Like, know what you're talking about, dude. You call yourself a journalist. You want to tell everyone that I'm a journalist for 30 years, and you still don't understand that the First Amendment has nothing to do with your right to storm private property. Like, that is not part of it. And by the way, let's talk about maintaining neutrality. Let me show you what an impartial journalist. He just committed an act of journalism, and he is so impartial that he went on later to go tell this trans woman or what, she looks trans. I'm told that I guess she's a biological female. Could have fooled me. Here's what he had to say to this Democrat hack.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America.
I mean, the audacity of a homosexual man to be like scolding a pastor about what Jesus would do is like actually insane to me. I think Jesus says it's exit only. That's what I think.
I'll be honest here. You saw the clip. I mean this. I truly commend the pastor of that church and his congregation. I really feel that my brothers and sisters really acted in a way that was very, very commendable. I thought they were merciful. I thought they handled themselves well, given the rude and quite frankly, moronic outburst that happened during the worship. They've taken the high ground, and I wish I could act like that a lot of the times. With that being said, I can honestly tell you that would not happen at the church that we attend, and I'll tell you why. We sit in the back with the rest of the men that go there that I know very well, and I can tell you this, I'm a fucking Jehu. And those of you in Christendom know exactly what I'm talking about. I do have zeal for the house of my God, and that is just not cool, and I would not permit that in 1,000 years.
Nope. Isn't this the whole leftist theme, if you will, since 2016, really, is the argument that they get to step on other people's rights in order to protect a different right. Mm-hmm. That's not how that works, dog.
That's not how that works.
No. And this kind of goes along with, some broader themes here, like LGBT, for example. If you're a trans man or a trans woman, do whatever you want. It's a free country. However, trying to write laws, and if they don't get signed into law, trying to force me or others otherwise to accommodate what you think are your rights. And it's fine if you think they are, but you're impeding on my right. You're impeding on other people's rights to not have to deal with the bullshit. It's crazy. I feel like civility has gone completely out the window in that regard. And you can argue back and forth that, okay, just even watching our show, that, we're the ones being uncivil and using violent language. But really, people like us are tired of it. We're tired of being backed into a corner where we have to accommodate your freedoms over our freedoms. It's crazy to me. To me, that sounds like an elitist attitude.
It's an elitist attitude for sure. One thing that I'll hit on a couple points on that Don Lemon video. So he claims to be a journalist, for one. So you'll notice in the video, if you go back to it, and we could probably timestamp it for you, right? So the first thing he does while talking to one of the congregants was, well, allegedly there's someone here that that supports ICE or works for ICE. I don't know that, allegedly.
Oh, that's some good journalism.
That's some really good.
Man.
So you don't know, right? So the congregant, who I thought was actually schooled Don Lemon pretty well, he knew his First Amendment right. Mm-hmm. He told him, "You're trespassing," for one. And when it came up to the the whole allegation about ICE, did you see what he told? You see what he told Don Lemon? Mm-hmm. He basically said, maybe it's probably a good thing you did your research first before you came into the house of God like this.
Yep.
Okay. Kudos, man, on you.
Yep.
So what, I just don't understand this. 2, Don claims to be a Christian. We all know that's not true. We can go through a myriad of reasons, but let me tell you something. If you go back to the video, he's in the house of God trying to clickbait everybody, and also says, "I'm not afraid to do this." So one of the fruits he's not bearing right there is the fear of the Lord. Okay? I don't care if you're an Asian Christian, an African Christian. A Christian is a Christian to me. Everybody knows, everybody who belongs to God knows and understands the fear of the Lord. All right? 2, one thing, and I'm going to say it, one thing the Lord did show me about this was that he went in during a time of worship and disrupted the worship. What that translates to me, you came in and treated God's offering contemptible. You touched and took the Lord's glory for your own. Now, the implications of that, go back to your Bibles, people of God, and read about every instance that happened. Tell me the outcome. So, with that being said, Lemony Prickett, I wouldn't be surprised if you had an act of God befall you. That's all I'm saying.
You know what bothers me a lot is, and the left does this pretty often, is that on social media, a lot of people are they're relating this to the time Jesus went into the temple and turned over the money tables, and making Don Lemon out to be a hero of sorts in comparison to Jesus.
Okay.
Where it's like he went into the church and basically turned it upside down. Mm-hmm. Again, based on some unproven allegations.
Yeah.
That is so arrogant.
It's very arrogant to make that type of comparison. But, well, I can say this. Jesus isn't divided against himself.
No. And, context in Scripture is everything. Because if you read the following lines as to Jesus' motivations, Jesus himself, and I quote, says, "You have turned my Father's house into a den of thieves." And that's exactly what is happening here. Don Lemon and the protesters, they went into God's house, and like a den of thieves, they stole his glory. Okay? They shamefully interrupted his worship and his glory for their own. We'll show you this next video, but you can see that clearly, as Mike said, this was just clickbait for more subscribers, more likes, more comments. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll that.
If you're in the chat, if you're with us, support us. Support us. Support us.
Is he in the church?
Like and subscribe. Become a member. Appreciate all of you, all of the new members. Make sure you're subscribed if you're watching us. Make sure if you go to the YouTube channel, you can hit subscribe.
So you just saw that. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this, and we'll close it, Don Lemon. But the root of I'm gonna say the hatred that Don Lemon has, especially towards Christians. Okay, Don Lemon, you are nothing more than a hateful, shameful, uncouth, racist race baiter. Okay, you're a disgraced journalist who's been fired once before. And I really do think that your hatred is towards the Word of God, because the Word of God himself, the Word of God doesn't affirm your lifestyle. Now look, as an American, your lifestyle is your business and your choice. As a Christian, we conform to God's goodwill. You haven't done that. You can't straddle the fence. And you can't hate your brothers for pointing that out to you in love. 2, for you to say you're the biggest name there, those people didn't even know you, Don. They're a bunch of working class people like my brother and I, who probably work 6 days a week, got there on a Sunday to worship their God, and were treated to your circus show and your freaks. And let me tell you something. That bitch Makima, the one who orchestrated this or supposedly orchestrated this, who you didn't know, that bitch's name, she sounds like a Mortal Kombat character. And I know you stayed up to fight.
Flawless victory.
And I know you stayed up all night to find out the meaning of the word clandestine.
You know, man, God's glory wasn't, totally lost on this situation. That pastor showed some amazing restraint. If I was that pastor, I would have started whooping some ass.
He did, dude. Could you imagine, dude? I mean, I truly commend him, dude. I mean, he handled that so gracefully. And did you see how Peckerhead there? He was like, he's clearly in like the pastor's personal space with
Please not push me.
Yeah, putting a microphone in his face. Just don't push me. Don't push him. Well, another part of the video that really got me is if I was the pastor, I'd be trying to get people to like pray together and come together.
Well,
you fucking Peckerhead, you incited this. And now you're trying to take high ground where it doesn't exist.
Well, I was going to say, that's a typical leftist tactic anyway.
For sure.
You know, clearly nothing's happening in that moment with the pushing comment. But, you know, it's one way, again, he already knows that people are watching because he's Don Lemon. He's just quickly inserting that to, again, reestablish the moral high ground for a split second.
Right.
Well, is this...
And look.
This shit's old, dog.
Yeah, it is, dog. And you know what? They arrested you at the Grammys. Big celebrity, Don, right? And guess what? The comment you made about protesting being, uncomfortable and traumatic, being arrested is supposed to be uncomfortable and traumatic. Bitch. It's for real, though. You know what? I'm not done. You know what? Those are my brothers and my sisters, man. And it's like, you come to our house of God, you come to our place of worship like that, Don, and I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying you could get thrown through a window. That's all I'm saying, man.
Happens.
Happens all the time.
All right, so in other news, I'm sure that you guys have already started digging into the newly released Epstein files.
Cool.
It's a lot. 2 million documents is a lot to sift through. So there's new stuff coming out every day right now, and still a lot of redacted information. Although, when you listen to people like Doug Hagman, he clarifies, he makes a good point that a lot of this information still kind of has to be redacted in a way, because these are ongoing investigations. Files are being released at the public's demand, because that's what the president campaigned on. However, with there being ongoing investigations, they're still building cases against some of the named people in these emails. So certain addressees are still being redacted on purpose.
I mean, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, that's a good point I didn't think of until it was mentioned. But some of the more disturbing things, let me pull up my phone real quick, that I wanted to point out. And we'll do another future episode as this issue is unfolding. But I wanted to talk about the Biden clone claims. Because
this is so before you get into this, you can believe us if you want. It's cool, it doesn't matter. But did you and I not talk about this back in 2020?
We did. So Pastor Dana Coverstone, once mentioned a vision he had where he was in, was it the Capitol? The Capitol building?
Yeah.
Where he saw who he assumed was the president lying dead in a casket. And the people around him were very angry about it. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have names. He didn't have really a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
But that vision, he made public in 2020. Mm-hmm. And reading through some of the newly released claims in the Epstein files, I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was very interesting. And maybe we can do a future Word in the Watchman episode on more of this. But
I ought to see how we can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there is there's surprisingly, well, I guess not surprisingly, really. There's a lot of more supernatural subjects in those files that I think are definitely worth more dialogue. But so to the Biden mask thing. So I'm reading right now off of WABC. This is the first article that I came across that sparked my interest in this. The DOJ has released a file in the Epstein drop saying Joe Biden was killed and replaced in 2019. Before I go on, just want to say that I was surprised and yet not surprised reading that because of first of all, because of what we just mentioned before, but also, if you remember, there was an incident a few years ago where the president hadn't been heard from during a period of time, and people, again, like Doug Hagman and Steve Quayle, had raised the theory that the president was possibly dead and that there was a scramble for a cover-up. Hal
Turner also mentioned it.
Yeah.
Even guys like Stan Johnson.
Right. So Epstein files suggest Joe Biden was shot in 2019 and the Biden who was president from 2020 to 2024 was an actor. Next article, and this is kind of what, again, furthered my interest in it. Here you have a mainstream news article from NBC News, dated actually this past year, June 2025. The headline reads, Trump shares unfounded conspiracy theory claiming Biden was executed in 2020. Trump didn't explain why he amplified the baseless claim, which suggested Biden was replaced with other entities, in quotes. Now, before we go on to the next one, number one, this is an NBC article. Now, we've spoken before about fake news, and specifically, I am not an NBC or an ABC guy. I don't do the letters, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm not even a Fox News guy.
Right. I certainly do believe that the news has been weaponized over the last 20 years against conservative-leaning, with the conservative-leaning public.
Yeah.
However, just by them even making that claim, months before this particular group of files was released, it tells me one thing. It tells me that the president had already read those files. The president had already become aware.
Yeah, he was privy to it for sure.
He was privy to it, and we all know the president. The president he's a renegade, man. I mean, he will go against what the public expects from him as far as how a politician should act, and he will just kind of say it as it is,
How much more to keep him back? How much more to keep him away from the presidency?
Right.
Knowing that information.
Right. But prior to this article headline, the president had also brought up the claim. Well, it's not really a claim. This is actually proven now about the signatures. About the
auto pen.
The auto pen.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was very strange that the auto pen has not come up more in mainstream news, but I always thought it was very interesting that that was a thing, and that the auto pen was being used to sign a lot of laws. Who was really running the country? I mean, that's the questions on everybody's mind. Everybody even wondered, even while they were watching Biden on TV, and I don't call him President Biden because I never believed he was the president, by the way. But everybody was already wondering who was running the country for those 4 years anyways. And the fact that the auto pen thing came up even before this news article, to me at least, adds further, validation to this possible theory.
Yeah, another point you made that I really like is the fact that if you talked about this 5 years ago, you were a tinfoil hat wearing lunatic man, right? But now this is a mainstream outlet alleging this is something that they've pushed for with the Epstein files. Now that this has been released, this is in the file, and the mainstream media is now airing this out. But it's you and I talked the other day. It's the smaller things too about the whole Biden situation, because it's easy to look. I understand the guy was over 80 years old. Okay, it's easy to, or was he, right? It's easy to forget things or misplace things or whatnot. But on multiple occasions, he couldn't get the date of his son's death right. He would forget names of key leaders or forget where he was or whatever. Now, yes, I understand you can add that up to him being a senior. But if he was a replacement, it explains a lot of the behavior.
Right. This is stressing me out so much that I got to smoke another cigarette. This one right here was a separate article from the one I just mentioned from NBC News. This was from June 1st, 2025 by journalist Raquel Coronel Uribe. President Donald Trump on Saturday night reposted a baseless claim on Truth Social that former President Joe Biden was executed in 2020 and replaced with clones or robots. The 78-year-old posted a link on his page without any explanation. The original post shared by a Trump follower read, "There is no Joe Biden, executed in 2020. Hashtag Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities are what you see." And then this one here is from Thora Curtis. The Biden mask malfunctions are getting worse each day.
This is a good one, yeah.
So let me just first say that I know what a lot of you guys are thinking, yeah, Trump is mentioned, 1,000 times in the Epstein files. However, where I lean on that and argue this point if you want in the comments, Trump made a good point that I can't argue with. If there was any wrongdoing on his part, it would have been used against him and weaponized as he was running for president. Okay, not during his presidency.
Chew on that one.
Yeah. Clearly, we all know the life that he lived before becoming president was that of a wealthy Manhattan socialite. A lot of these people are seen at the same fundraisers.
Sure, they travel in the same circles.
Same parties, right.
100%.
And now, piggybacking on top of that, in 2026, we're also seeing the rise of AI and things like ChatGPT. And if you're really curious about AI, go back a couple videos and watch our Word on the Watchman video on,
two-way AI.
Two-way AI.
Yeah.
But anyways, there have been people have been talking about how some of the Epstein files can't be trusted because some of those are ChatGPT generated. And I do believe that. I do believe that there are hands in the pot on these files from both Republicans and Democrats, and that one or the other, will definitely use some of these in conjunction with AI to weaponize against the conservative side of politics. However, I started this whole conversation basically saying that this is interesting. I'm not alleging that any of these are true.
No, it's definitely worth note. I mean,
but it's worth note. It's worth thinking about, especially from a biblical worldview. So you can't trust all of it.
No.
I think that the things that are generated using Donald Trump's name are very skeptical. One of those being a picture, which will show up here, of you can see Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein are at what looks like a party together with some underage girls. Something to note, first of all, is that everybody in this video, or in this picture, they look like they're wearing their everyday clothes. It's Casual Friday up in here, if you will. Why is Donald Trump wearing his suit? Okay. Also, look down below at some of the fingers and count the fingers. You can see that some of these people have 6 fingers. Clearly, this is an AI-generated photo.
An early AI-generated photo.
And based on the year that they're claiming this photo came out in, you can see that Donald Trump is the same age as he is now. Okay? So, that's why I'm saying you can't trust everything that's coming out against conservatives.
Yeah. Well, for those of you watching, I know you're sitting back going, these guys are just fucking MAGA fucking Trump sympathizers. Okay, hey, I'll take that one on the chin, sure. But one thing you won't find is a picture of Donald Trump in a blue fucking dress at Jeffrey Epstein's house.
But anyways, so the Biden mask thing, it is very strange that somebody who was who appeared to be fully mentally cognitive before he was elected president would so quickly decline the way that he did during the 4 years of his presidency. Do I personally believe that he was replaced by a clone or an actor wearing a pretty convincing mask? Fuck yeah, I do, actually. I'll tell you why. Look how things like AI have advanced so quickly in just 1 year. Okay? Now, I would argue that technology is obviously more advanced in the government, and that technology has become physical, extraterrestrial, if you will.
Sure.
And that something like that does exist. And I would urge you to do your own research and watch, go back in time a little bit over the last 4 years and watch some of the videos of Biden and tell me that you don't think that there's something very odd other than the fact that he is old and declining.
Yeah. You mean the time he motherfucking froze? Remember when they were all, there was a video of him at this, I forget the event, but him and Kamala are out there, Kamala and whoever the fuck they were dancing. There was some music going on and he just sits there. Someone pushed pause on his fucking VCR for like fucking 5 minutes.
And you'll find that even watching videos of Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, we talked about. Remember? Yeah.
But amongst some of the other things that have been brought out in the Epstein files, we're going to show you a clip from Steve Quayle on the Hagman Report, who's going to read a quote verbatim, a recent quote by Vladimir Putin on something he said concerning the release of the files.
Check this out.
Gives a title to the context, and the context of the title, Vladimir Putin, the Western elites are used to stuffing their bellies with human flesh and their pockets with money. That vampire ball is coming to an end.
Now, there's a lot of disturbing things in these files that came up that I told you earlier kind of appear with supernatural, connotations. There's a lot of things in those files concerning cannibalism, human sacrifice. Several of them, in fact, mention young adolescent girls who were brought in simply to breed babies for them to cannibalize the body parts. And again, I don't know if any of that's true, but as a Christian, I do lean more towards the fact that men are evil.
Yeah.
Especially those in power.
Without giving too much away, comment down in the bottom if you'd like us to see, if you'd like to see us do a Word in the Watchman episode on like ancient ritual cannibalism and how it ties into the Bible. And this is without even talking about the stuff we heard about the adrenochrome issues.
Right. And I'm sure you guys have seen that word pop up in your hashtags, adrenochrome, mostly popularized by guys like Alex Jones. But there is, there are kernels of truth to that. If you go back and read the Bible, read specifically any passage mentioning Baal, Moloch, and some of the detestable practices that people partook in when it came to child sacrifice. And you'll know exactly what it is that we're talking about. And a lot of these files even mention those names. And they're mentioned by high-profile names such as Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm. Do your own homework.
Right. So more developing news. I'm sure we're going to be touching on this a whole lot this year, but keep an eye on the Epstein files, do some research. But I urge you to, as you read these, compare them to the Bible and what the Bible has, recorded in ancient history and what it records in the days to come. And you'll see for yourself that there is nothing new under the sun.
No, it's the same disturbing template that has been used throughout history, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So, with that being said, what you got in your pockets?
You know what? What you got in your pockets?
You don't have nothing in your pockets.
No, I got something in my pocket. Hey, you mind your business, Don Lemon.
All right. New this week, I have the Montana Knife Company Mini Speed Goat right here in my pocket.
Sweet.
Check out
You
this
guys have
bad
all
boy.
seen the Montana Knife Company ads pop up.
And then,
sweet.
I went back for a while, just honestly because I'm just wearing a lighter jacket right now. I went back to my old 3T EO1S by Olight.
Classic.
Love the patina on that. The clip fell off about a year ago, and I had to reattach it with a Ranger band. But I love this thing.
Dude, that is the. You know what's funny? Out of all the lights we got, that is the best light, dude.
Yeah.
It's
lightweight. When I wear a lighter jacket,
the best light.
I put this light in my pocket. When I'm wearing a heavier winter coat, I'll put the bigger one in.
Yeah.
But
when shit hits the fan, man. I got lights that you charge, right? Which are cool, right? I prefer battery lights because you never know. You can just pop in somewhere, grab a battery. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yep. And of course, as always, my nicely patinaed original rustic heirloom wallet in Ghost Orange.
Oh, I'm making a bust.
Oh, hang on. I got this really cool Big Idea Design bolt action pen that Mike got me for Christmas.
Classic. All right, I guess it's my turn. All right, so I got. No matter what, I am always carrying my buds everywhere.
You got to keep up with the news, dog.
You do, man. But you know what, dude? My line of work, I like when I'm unmolested, like 2:00 in the morning. I do Bible studies. I listen I'm cultural, man. I like rock. I like metal. I'm a bare knuckle metal guy, but I like Cuban jazz, bro. Nothing but Cuban jazz. You know what I mean? So those my pots.
The older we get,
it's true.
The more I kind of veer off.
Dude. Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, exactly.
And I like nice, relaxing.
It's because we're Renaissance men. Again,
always. What you used to say when we were kids, that we were the handsome mansman warrior poets.
That's true. That's true. I did say that shit. I did say that. Always carry my pocket crucifix. Always. All right. Always got that. I got my old Carhartt card carrier. I just, the patina on this is great.
That's so solid. You've had this for so many years.
Yeah, dude, I like it. It's just cool, And knife today. Oh, got the ProTech Terzola ACTF.
Oh, bam! The snap on that bitch.
Bam! You hear that shit, Don Lemon?
No threat.
It's just you heard it, bro. I mean, damn, Yeah, it's like 90% of the time I'm always.
You're a real journalist. Make sure your ears are good.
Yeah, you alleged something. That wasn't even true, bro. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I got on me today.
Cool. Hey, once again, never apologize for being a man. First and foremost. But also, hey, listen, if you're a man, subscribe. Here, Don Lemon, do us the honor.
Make sure you subscribe if you're watching us.
But you know what? While you're at it too, why don't you go ahead and follow us on Instagram? We're not big, social media guys. Instagram, you can post nice pictures. Seems to be a fine way to kind of connect with other EDC collaborators. Go ahead and follow that page, like and subscribe. We're going to be posting a lot of shorts and clips of some of the newest gear we've been carrying.
And you'll get free shit. It's one of those things where if we review your gear, check it out, you'll get one of our badass Spike Life tee drops, right?
Yep. And then lastly, I just want to say, go follow Joe Mansman and the Midnight Revival Band.
Indeed.
Okay, on all of our social media platforms. We are going to be going on tour again this year. We're going to be hitting up Greeley and Colorado Springs, as well as Somerville, South Carolina.
Sweet.
So if you live in any of those areas, please come and check us out. We're going to be announcing a lot of dates here pretty soon, but our brand new album, Gas Station Elvis, is out now. Check it out. May the Lord richly bless you, for real. You and your families, God bless.